You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
Yeah! Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
They call me Asa.
I am Jim.
And we are your astute win counselors to get you through any issues that you might be facing or any problems that you're currently experiencing. So let's get right to it. Our first winner here is Sarah from Chicago, Illinois. She writes, Dear Win, it's a complete pain in my rear end to constantly have to scoop out cat litter for my 2 cats that seem to defecate way too much. Any suggestions on how to alleviate this headache or problem? Ace.
You know, I'll be honest. I don't see the problem here. You have a couple of furry companions that are there for you. And yeah, there's some responsibility involved in taking care of that relationship and taking care of these little creatures. But you know what? Ultimately, I think the slight hassle of cleaning up after them is well worth the affection received.
That's hands-on parenting or something like that.
Call it what you will. But you do have an obligation to these creatures because you took them in.
Yeah, they're not latchkey cats or anything.
Well, I'll tell you what I call that, Asa. I call that a lack of respect on the part of these cats.
Okay.
The winner has taken them in, has given them a home, feeds them, and how do they repay? By defecating all over the house. It sounds excessively so.
Everybody poops, Jim.
Well, that doesn't mean that they have to do it all over the house. They could confine it to a litter box. They could be respectful. Yeah, and maybe just do it once a day. Is that so hard? Seems to me it would even save time.
Is that so hard for you? Is that your routine? Just once a day?
I'm less than once a day, maybe a 0.7 or a 0.6 times per day.
0.6, huh? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's an interesting average.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you know, winner... I don't know. I would have to say here, the one thing you could do is you could get into the whole green movement and recycle. So train the cats to eat their own feces, in which case you never have to worry about cleaning it up. Secondly, if they don't like it so much in the interim or right initially when you try to get them to eat the feces, feed them pizza, because everybody likes pizza. So you put the feces on top of the pizza, they'll eat it, and then they just start recycling it. And, you know, before you know it, you might never have to clean up a single scoop of cat poop again. All right. Well, anyway, we got Alicia from Denver, Colorado. Yeah, we got a local one, right? It's Dear Win, I work at a nightclub in downtown Denver and love the club scene. Can you guys share with me a story you've experienced while going out in a nightclub? Jim, you got any good stories?
Yes. I went to a nightclub once.
Once?
Yeah, I was in Vegas.
Wow.
And it was it would have been at the Palms.
Oh, okay.
And it was a Poker Stars party during the World Series of Poker. And Snoop Dogg was going to be there.
Oh.
But I was several hours early for Snoop Dogg, and I walked in, and I stood there for about 30 seconds and realized I didn't belong, and I walked out.
So you were getting nowhere close to waiting for Snoop Dogg?
No.
Huh. Did you regret it later and say, man, I should have stuck it out?
Not at all.
Not even remotely?
No, I didn't want to be there.
How many people were there when you were there?
I would guess several hundred. I don't know. It was pretty packed.
Okay, so enough to say, all right, I'm not feeling good about this?
Yeah. Yeah. The music was very loud.
Okay. Well, I got a story for you. There was a girl once that came into a nightclub that I'm aware of, and she went and actually defecated in the elevator. And then when she got to the bottom of the elevator, she kind of just walked out as if nothing happened, like it was a cat box. She thought that the elevator was a cat box or something. She just thought it was cool. Everything's kosher. Why are you looking at me strange? What's so weird about it? And just went on her way and kept on dancing. Pretty interesting, I think. What do you think, Ace?
I went to a nightclub one time, and some friends and I were looking to bum a cigarette, and we were out in this like outdoor area. And nobody, like seriously, we went around and asked like a dozen people, and nobody was willing to, spare a loose cigarette.
Were you asking guys or girls?
We were asking everybody.
Wow.
It was, I mean, it wasn't a big deal or anything, but it was just there was no generosity. I don't know if that's typical of all clubs or what, or maybe it was just
but
a
there
bad
was
sample.
Great generosity between you and your friend who were willing to share one cigarette.
That is. You guys were going to split it or each get a cigarette?
Well, I mean, if it came down to only having one cigarette between the both of us, yeah, we were going to share it. I mean, if we could each get our own, that would be optimal, but...
Interesting. Would you have traded it out for drinks or shots or anything?
Like, bought somebody a drink for a cigarette?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, that'd be an economic poor choice, I think. But I'm not a smoker, so I don't know. But I think that's probably a little steep. All right, we got time for one more. It's Bobby from Seattle, Washington writes, Dear Win, I know you have been fortunate enough to have Russian President Vladimir Putin on the Win Show several times. Congratulations. Wow. No one seems to really know, though, about where Mr. Putin's been hiding mysteriously for the last 10 days. I figured since you guys have a close connection to President Putin, could you tell us the truth of where Mr. Putin's been? I think we should save the last part of this one for Asa because he's got a real good connection to Mr. Putin. What do you think, Jimbo? Do you know where he's been? Has Asa told you?
No. I've bugged Asa several times, and he has not been willing to share.
I'm right here, you guys. You don't have to talk about me like I'm not here.
Oh.
Well, I've asked Asa several times, and he was not willing to share the information with me.
Well, I haven't asked him yet because I'm scared because since he is so tight with Vladimir that maybe Vladimir will make me disappear as well, not for 10 days, but more for like 10 years or 100. So I'm going to leave this one to you, Ace. Where's he been for the last 10 days?
You know what? I've been sworn to secrecy.
Oh.
I will tell you this. There was recently an island that got wiped off the map, apparently.
Vanuatu?
Mm-hmm. And I will say that it didn't actually disappear, but it did disappear.
Oh.
And maybe Putin.
Just maybe.
Just maybe Putin? Kind of like when Hurricane Katrina came by, there was one radio talk show host, I think he was in Seattle, Winter, or somewhere close on the West Coast, who accused that the Japanese Yakuza caused Katrina to hit New Orleans. So maybe you're saying Putin had something to do with wiping out Vanuatu and he went down there to do it himself, or?
I'm saying there are certain KGB technologies that can control the weather, and that's all I'm saying.
Huh.
You said quite a bit there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, thank you.
You also know that one chick, Tulip Sunspring, that's on the Win Network, don't you?
I've heard her.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, she's on the network that we're on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's a colleague.
Well, unfortunately, Winter...
she's more than a colleague.
Oh, no, come on.
You said
too much now.
She's pretty cute, though. You gotta admit, Ace. I mean, I think she's got a thing for you.
I've never seen her. I've only heard her voice.
Okay.
And she sounds lovely.
Oh, well. All right, Bobby, Mr. Winter out in Seattle. Asa won't spill the beans, but maybe I'll get some information at a later date. And we have one more little piece of inspiration, get you through the rest of the week, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Hey there, Taurus. Got bad news for you. You're gonna get bullied unless you go to the World Improv Network Facebook page. Like us. Check us out on iTunes. Subscribe. Leave a rating, download. Check us out on Facebook, iTunes, and Twitter at World Improv Net. Send us suggestions, and then you won't get bullied.
Thanks for listening to Win on KZKO. Don't forget to interact with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the Win KZKO blog. See you next week.
You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.